Hi, I'm Dr. Michele Fiala of Ohio University in Athens. Thank you for joining me today for the 2012-2013 District 14 Honor Band Audition video. You'll notice that both of these, the slow and the fast, were written specifically for auditioning. The Georgia Music Educators Association has had a composer write these for auditioning, and other states are now using them. So you will need to be careful of many accidentals in this, as it is designed to show that you can read music very clearly and expressively. In the slow piece, you'll notice some markings that you might have questions about. For instance, in measure 12, there's a poco più mosso, or a little more motion. In the last measure, you are instructed not to slow down, non ritardando. A great thing that they'll be listening for in the slow excerpt is your phrase shaping. You can watch my video on developing a musical vocabulary for more instruction in this, but I'll just take the first 4 measures as an example. In the first 4 measures, I would look toward the beginning of the 4th measure as the peak of the phrase. It is metrically strong. There is a general upward sweep toward it and a general downward sweep and ritardando away from it. And it's a point that wants to resolve to the G, which is important in this key. I'll play the first 4 measures, and I'll show you that I am crescendoing into the downbeat of the 4th measure, and as the composer instructs, then diminuendo away from it in measure 4. Start with a new phrase that starts out similarly and then goes someplace different, so you can reflect that in your playing. Do, however, be careful that in the end of measure 8 you are soft, so that the forte in measure 9 is something different, is a new level. So you might find yourself crescendoing a bit in the phrase from 5 through 9, but come back down, and then the forte in measure 9 will be something new and interesting to the listener. So be careful about your dynamic plan within this. I've seen some students who have found the last couple of measures to be awkward, and I've found working backward practice to be very effective in this. For instance, if you take just the last 3 notes and practice that downward slur. And once you're good at that downward slur, you might add the G sharp before that. And then you might add the F before that, so that you practice that interval of the augmented second. I suggest working the entire last 2 or maybe even last 3 measures like this, adding 1 note at a time and playing to the end so that you can get over those awkward intervals between the B flat and the D flat and between the B and the D. It's going to help you, and you're going to be more confident if you're going into something that you're confident about. You're confident about the end of the piece, whereas oftentimes in auditions we'll find students who have practiced the beginning really well and haven't spent as much time at the end of the piece. It feels great when you're going into something that you know you can play well at the end. I will now play the first excerpt for you. In the second excerpt, you might want to start the first measure out without the grace notes and then add the grace notes in. Just play it once like this so that you hear what the underlying rhythm is. Then play the grace notes by themselves. Then right away start to combine the two. Notice that when I add the grace notes, I make sure it doesn't disrupt the underlying rhythm. Make a lot of the accents that are printed in this music. Really show them clearly so that the judges know that you pay attention to the markings in music and interpret them. In measures 23, 25, and 27, you'll see staccati at the ends of slurs. This means not that you should tongue the note, but that you should lift off the end of the note. For instance, in measure 23. So it's a light lift at the end of the note. The same thing in measure 27. In measure 24, make sure you use your left F before the high D so that you can get effectively to the high D without having to slide in your right hand. Notice that in measure 27 there is an accelerando, so you should speed up and get louder until the end. You'll notice also that the tempo marking is allegretto giocoso, which means joyful. I'll now play number 2 for you. Thank you for joining me today. Good luck on your audition. As always, do mock auditions for your friends, family, and teachers. Please let me know how it goes.